This session. My name is Nick Dubas, and I work in the Office of International Programs. We do these visa prep sessions every other week, so we'll be doing one in 2 weeks from now. But it is 9 in the morning, Youngstown, Ohio time. We have our coffee. It's a beautiful sunny day today. We're going to talk a lot about not just your visa prep interview, but we'll talk a lot about Ohio, about YSU. I think students find these sessions to be really valuable in terms of learning a lot about the area. So as I said, this is being recorded. I'm going to talk for about 35 minutes. I have a number of slides for you, and then there'll be ample time for you to ask questions. At the end, if you're interested in the slides, I will send them to you. Okay? So let me share my screen with you. Okay. All right, again, this is the F1 student visa process. Emelina, can you see the screen? Yes, she can. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so before your interview, you need to do the following. You need to obtain your I-20 from Youngstown State University. You need to pay your $350 SEVIS fee, and there's the link. Follow the instructions. This is the United States, so therefore you'll have to complete another form, the DS-160, and pay yet another fee. That would be a $160 application fee. Once you do all this, you can schedule a visa appointment at a U.S. embassy, and there is the link. Right below that is the visa appointment wait time. During COVID, obviously there was a lot of wait time. And even today, there is still wait time. And what we have found, if you can go to another country, if you have a ridiculously long wait time, we have found that if you go to another country, a neighboring country, and go visit the U.S. embassy there, you may cut down dramatically on your wait time. But again, that depends on the region of the world. To qualify for F1 status, the law requires that students demonstrate 4 extremely important things, and we're going to go over these. First of all, intention and ability to be a successful full-time student. Number 2, ability to pay for studies and living expenses. Number 3, you must show non-immigrant intent. And number 4, you must have sufficient English according to your I-20. Let's go over these. First of all, you have to have that intention and ability to be a successful full-time student. I mean, this is the reason why you are coming to the United States. During your interview, be prepared to discuss your educational background and your plans for the future. This is very important. You need to have a really good reason why you want to come to the United States, because the world is a big place. Why did you choose the United States? The United States is a big country. Of all the universities in the United States, and there's about 4,000 of them, why did you choose YSU? What will you study? Why did you choose that discipline? And what are your career plans? And how does this degree fit into these plans? Now you'll notice the word "you" basically is very bordered on every sentence, because only you know why you want to study in the United States or what you want to study. I cannot tell you that. So when you have your interview, and we're going to talk about the interview, but if there's anything that you really need to know and be very distinct in your answers, it's this. Okay, you don't want to be wishy-washy in your answers. You want to be very quick, distinct. Why do you want to come to the United States? What do you want to study, and why? Number two, you must show that your sponsor can afford to pay for your studies. Now, the officer may ask what your sponsor does for a living and how many children are in your family. Now, again, you have to remember that these officers, this is what they do for a living. Your interview will probably be maybe 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. And so it's pretty quick. So you need to have good, quick answers to the questions. So when the sponsor, needs to, you need to show that your sponsor can afford to pay for your studies. And if you have a lot of children, you have to be able to explain that your sponsor can afford to pay for your studies. So they're going to ask you these types of questions. You must present evidence that you intend to return home once your academic program is completed. This is non-immigrant intent. For example, you must demonstrate that economic, professional, and personal ties to your home country exist. Obviously, most likely your family is living in the country you're coming from. Perhaps you have a bank account, or at least your family has bank accounts. If you have a job offer letter upon completion of studies, that's really good. Bring that to the interview. Now, we're not saying at your young age that you may have assets like a house or land. Perhaps you do, but you may have a vehicle. But any type of assets that you have, your family has, it's important that you bring this because it shows ties to your country, that you intend on going back to the country that you are coming from and to take advantage of everything that YSU has to offer, but then go back to your country and make your country a better place. During your interview, you will be speaking in English, okay? Now, what I'm going to tell you right now, I think is the most important thing that I can tell you throughout this whole workshop. Do not memorize a speech. Memorized speeches, they sound the same, and you want to stand out. You want to speak from your heart. And we're going to talk about this. So you don't want to go in the interview and you don't want to say, well, I want to study computer science. I want to do research. Every university does research. Okay? So when you say you want to do research, that's like blah, 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 blah. All right? Speak from your heart. And we're going to give you some ideas of things that you can say. But in the end, it's really you, of course. You have to speak from your heart and with passion. And we'll talk about that. During your visa interview, these are some tips. You want to maintain eye contact with the consular officer. Now, I know in some countries, eye contact is not something you're used to. But in the United States and Western society, it's very acceptable. So you want to look at the consular officer with your eyes. You don't want to look down. You want to practice your English as often as possible. And I'm sure you're doing this now. But by practicing and practicing, this will help you communicate with the officers effortlessly. There are many ways you can practice. For example, by watching American TV shows, by listening and translating your favorite music songs, reading books in English, and there are many others. And as I said, I'm sure you're doing these now. It's very important that you answer all questions openly and honestly, okay? You don't want to give long answers though, because as I said before, your interview will probably be approximately 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. So you want to give quick, but very honest, distinct answers. And you don't want to go drag on and on with the question, okay? And what I said before about knowing what you want to study, why you want to come to the United States, why you want to be at YSU, extremely important that you are prepared to answer those questions. Now, you want to be confident. You want to stay calm and you want to smile. Okay, you want to project a positive and confident image. And if you do this, you're really going to have a successful student visa interview. For example, there's nothing wrong with looking at the officer and saying, I want to come to Youngstown State, or I want to attend Youngstown State, because the university has an excellent reputation in my field of study. They have really reached out to me. They've done sessions online that I've attended. It's not a huge university, but it's not small. I feel like I'm going to be really feeling at home there. And it's affordable, which is really wonderful. And then you could talk about how you're looking forward to enjoying the seasons that we have here and so on, which we'll talk about. But when you say this, you want to look at the officer, smile, and be confident. During your visa interview, you want to take these documents with you. It's very important to make sure you have these. And you want to have them in an organized fashion, like in a manila envelope where you know where every single one of them is. They may not ask you for any of these, okay? Because again, your interview time is somewhat short. But if they do, you want to know exactly where they are. For example, your passport, your YSU I-20, make sure you sign it on page 1. Your SEVIS fee receipt, and if you don't have it, you could go into that link and find it. Your YSU acceptance letter, financial support documents, transcripts, and test scores such as language proficiency, SAT, ACT, and your GRE. Make sure you have those forms with you. These are some resources that are really good. And like I said, I will send you these and you can read over these, but they're very, very good. Education USA, NAFSA 10 points to remember when applying for a student visa, and Study in the States. Okay, all these are really good resources. Okay, now that we've done all this, I want to talk about Ohio. So if you're going to be coming to Youngstown, Ohio, I think it's very important. The more information you know, the better. You're more educated about the state and about the region. So Ohio, you see a map on the left. Ohio is bolded in gold. Ohio is an extremely important state in the United States. We are the 7th most populous state. We have about 12 million people who live in the state of Ohio. Ohio is known for many things. We are known for agriculture, but we're also known for big cities, for manufacturing. There are so many lakes throughout Ohio. But the big cities, the 3 biggest are Cincinnati. They are located in the south, Columbus, which is our capital, in the middle, and Cleveland in the northeast part of Ohio. As I said, Ohio is a very big manufacturing state, and we also have a lot of agriculture. We have elected, more presidents have been elected from the state of Ohio than any other state. But to be honest with you, we haven't had a president elected from Ohio in quite some time. Youngstown, as you see, is on the eastern corner of Ohio. We border Pennsylvania. Youngstown is a very interesting city. Youngstown was one of the biggest steel producing cities in the world. I think we were like number 3. And then in the 1960s, especially the 1970s, the steel mills just all left the city for the most part. And Youngstown really fell on hard times. Our population is much smaller than what it used to be. But in the last 10 years to 15 years, really the last 10 years, Youngstown is really, really having a renaissance. And it's great to see. For example, we are internationally known for 3D printing and for research on electric vehicles. And so there's a lot of really good things happening. Our downtown, which we're only about a block away from, is a lot of good things are happening. And we'll talk about that. But again, Youngstown, it's great to see us going through this renaissance. In Ohio, as I said, we have a lot of lakes. The biggest one is Lake Erie. I will send you a link on the Great Lakes. Again, I think the more you know, about the region, the better you are. But this area has 5 Great Lakes, and this is the biggest body of fresh water in the world. You see Lake Erie on the map. Okay, when you're by Lake Erie, you feel like you are in an ocean. It's huge. So during the warmer months, there's a lot of boating activity, a lot of fishing. We're only about an hour from Lake Erie. On the southern border of Ohio is the Ohio River, which is one of the great rivers of the world, and that borders the southern border. And in between, there are many, many lakes in this region. I like Ohio. I think it's a great place to live. We are considered the Midwest. If you're going from east to west, we are the first state that is considered the Midwest. This is YSU at a glance. We were founded in 1908. We are one of 13 public universities in Ohio. We have approximately 12,700 students, about a 16-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have more than 110 bachelor majors, 50 plus master's programs. We are in a very populous part of the country. Okay, we are about 6.5 hours, or really less, about 6 hours and 15 minutes from New York City and Chicago. Now, Pittsburgh and Cleveland, 2 big professional cities, we're about an hour and 10 minutes or so from both of them. Pittsburgh being in Pennsylvania, of course, Cleveland in Ohio. Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, we are 5 hours away. We're very proud of our international student population. We have right now 1,001 international students, and this will continue to grow. Many of our students come from Nepal, from India, from Vietnam, from Bangladesh, Bahamas. So we are doing extremely well. And we have about 70 international countries represented. I want to talk about the weather. It's very important. Okay, today is an absolutely beautiful late spring day. Okay, it is going to be in the high 80s. It's going to be very warm. So right now, even though it's spring, we kind of consider this the start of summer. Okay, springtime starts at the end of March, mid-March, end of March. It's the wet season. It goes until really the end of May, early June. And then summer is a beautiful season, very hot, at least for us. There's so many festivals that take place in the region. It's an absolutely beautiful time of year. That goes until the end of September. And then fall, which is my favorite time of year. And if you have never experienced fall, you are in for a treat. Fall goes basically from the end of September until the end of November. But this is when the leaves turn orange, red. They're just beautiful colors, orange and red, everywhere you look, and yellow. And the temperatures get cooler. Schools open up again. American football starts. It's an absolutely magical time here. And this leads to winter. Now, personally, I love winter. I love skiing. I love ice skating. Most people don't like winter. Okay, my wife hates winter, but most people don't love it, but I do. And winter typically goes from December through at some point mid-March. The last few winters have been extremely mild. Not a lot of snow. Most people really liked it. I did not. So I'm hoping this winter will go back to normal. But my point here is Youngstown has 4 distinct seasons. It is not always 70 degrees and sunny here. Okay. One good thing about coming in the fall is it's a gradual time before you hit winter. It's still hot in August, extremely hot, and then it eventually starts to, cool down as time goes on. If you come here in January, it's possible you can get off the plane and it could be 20 degrees and 10 inches of snow on the ground. And it's kind of a shock. But if you come in the fall, you have that gradual decline in the high temperatures. But again, if you are not from a part of the world that sees winter or experiences fall, I think you'll be in for a treat. What I want to talk about here is what we do in the International Programs Office and really the whole campus. Uh, we really appreciate our international students. And one of my jobs is I do programming in our office. Our goal is we want you to absolutely love being at YSU. We want this to be one of the best times of your life. And we really want to immerse you into the community. So every single month, we do different activities depending on that time of the year. So for example, this is a calendar from October. Again, October is an amazing, beautiful month with fall. Halloween is huge in the United States. It basically is about a 6-week season that culminates at the end of October. And so I want to go over this calendar and just talk about some of the things that we do. First of all, every month we have our signature program twice a month. They're called coffee hours. We get approximately 150 individuals to each coffee hour. We get domestic students, we have faculty and staff, but our international students love coffee hours and they make so many friendships. And so if you look at the October calendar, October 6th, the Rec Center sponsored a coffee hour. And then on October 20th, the Iranian Youth Society, who I advise, sponsored a coffee hour. But every month, we try to do them on the 1st and the 3rd of the month. You'll see that on October 8th, we went to a farm. So we went to a farm that's in the area, an absolutely beautiful day, and all these trips sell out very quickly. Then on the 13th, we went to a haunted hayride, a haunted house. We had a bonfire. Again, the trip sells out very quickly. American football is very big throughout the month of October. On October 22nd, I work with the School of Liberal Arts, the history department, and we take 2 coach buses to Washington, D.C. We visit the Holocaust Museum, and then you have the day to do what you would like in Washington. So we leave at like 4:30 in the morning. It's a really cool trip that sells out very quickly. And then we have an international dinner, typically in October. So we have a really good dinner, and then we have a DJ. And then there's Halloween. So the month of October is really our busiest month when it comes to activities. But throughout the year, we do other activities. And I challenge you, okay? I want to challenge you to make a difference. If you just want to come to YSU and get your degree and go back home, that's up to you. But we hope you want to make a difference. I advise 3 student groups: the International Student Organization, the Iranian Youth Society, and PISA, which is the Pakistani Indian Student Association. And all groups, all of them are very heavily involved in trying to make our campus and our city a better representation. And so I hope you get involved. I hope you take advantage of all the trips that we do. Okay, so from the beginning, our goal is to immerse you into American culture. I already talked about the coffee hours. As soon as you get here, we take you to a very big county fair, which is the biggest in the United States. I talked about the farms. We go to museums. We give you an opportunity to go see the symphony orchestra. We go bowling. There's many athletic events you can go to. We take trips to DC, to Niagara Falls. In the winter, we like to go snow tubing, ice skating. You know, we do things like canvas painting. And then in April, we have the International Festival. And this is where our international students, not only do we have an amazing ethnic food, but our students do performances and we have tabling. So the job that I want to do is to make you really love being here. That's our goal. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on this after. As I said, we are only about a block or so from our downtown. And our downtown has come a long ways. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, our downtown was really bad, like about 25 years ago, 20 years ago, but it has slowly, but especially in the last 10 or so years, really grown. And they're fixing all the roads downtown. It's really nice. There's a lot of restaurants, there's an amphitheater, there's a concert venue. And I think a lot of our international students go downtown and spend really good time. So there's a lot of programs that take place downtown also. This is a very important page in terms of your academics. And if you click on the www.ysu, it will show you your classes and what you need to take. You should still talk to someone from the college that you're going to be studying in. I mean, we can help you, but we're not experts. We're not academic advisors, okay? So you really need to talk to, if you're in nursing, talk to someone from the nursing program. If you're in accounting, talk to someone from the business school. But this gives you a good idea of the classes that you need to take. Now, what I'm going to talk about now is for undergraduate students, but this is extremely important. We want you to do the following 3 things because it's really important that you schedule your classes before you come here for orientation. So this is in regards to academic advising and course registration. All incoming undergraduate international students must meet with an academic advisor prior to registering for class. To be eligible to meet with an advisor, students must be registered for orientation, must have been issued a visa, and you must complete the required math and English placement tests. Information on which placement test you are required to complete is available through the orientation portal. This is extremely important. Like I said, we are trying to cut down on the number of students who come here in August who haven't registered for classes. So once a student has completed the 3 requirements, they are going to receive an email from YSU instructing them to schedule an advising appointment with their academic advisor. Their advisor's contact information will be included in the email, and then you need to reach out to them. Once the student has met with their academic advisor, at this point, you can register for classes. Students who do not complete the 3 requirements will have to wait until orientation to meet with their academic advisor and register for classes. And you don't want to be that person, okay? Because the recommendation is this: do everything you can to meet the 3 eligibility requirements to register prior to orientation. If you register at orientation, you're going to find fewer classes available. You're going to, it's not going to be as easy as you think, okay? So do it early, not difficult, and then you will be ready to go when orientation comes. I want to talk about housing. For the fall semester, it is not a requirement that you live in university housing, but I highly, and I'm going to say it again, highly recommend that you live in university housing for many, many reasons. Number 1, you are coming from thousands of miles away. Trying to look for an apartment online is not easy. There are so many good reasons to live in university housing, and I'm going to go over these. As you can see, Cafaro and Leiden and Kilcoley, these are our 3 main traditional housing units that you can live in. If you are an undergraduate student, you will receive a $2,000 housing award to live on campus. That is $1,000 per semester. When you do sign a housing agreement, it is for the entire year, not just fall, but for fall and spring semester. We have 2 other housing units Weller, which is for, it's like apartments, and they are for married or graduate students, and Wick. Undergraduates could live in Wick also. It's a house. It's not that big, but it's pretty nice. But these are the three main residence halls. So let's talk about housing. The benefits of living on campus include this: deep community connections to campus. You are in the center of everything. You are in a safe environment. You will make a lot of friends, okay? Friends that will maybe last a lifetime. You'll probably have an American roommate. Now, if you want to have someone from your country, you can request that, and then they'll try their best to give you someone from your country or another international student. But really, by having an American roommate, you'll end up learning so much more about America. You'll have room and board. Now, what room and board means is you will be given a furnished room, which means a bed, a desk chair, dressers, end tables, a refrigerator and microwave unit. So you don't have to worry about furniture. You know, if you end up getting an apartment, sometimes students think the apartment's going to be furnished and it's not. And then they have to worry about buying furniture. Okay? You'll also be given a meal plan. A meal plan, that means you will be given 3 meals a day cooked. You don't have to worry about grocery shopping. You'll have 3 good meals. And I have to say this, our food service has really come a long ways when it comes to international types of foods. They have worked with our international students to try to do a lot of simple things better. For example, rice. I can eat rice and I think it's great, but in some countries, the rice is drier. So our food service has really worked with international students on these simple types of things. But every day you'll be given 3 meals, and there's different kinds of meal plans. You could pick one where you can go to the dining hall more, or you could pick one where you go to the dining hall less, but you're given what we call flex dollars. You'll also have free laundry. You don't have to worry about paying for it. If you're a musician or you just like having an instrument, there are music practice rooms that you can go into. There are computer labs in all our residence halls. You could print everything you need without actually having to leave the building. We also have shared kitchens. Every residence hall has a kitchen in like the bottom floor, where if you do want to cook a meal, you could, but it's not meant for you to do every day because it's a shared kitchen. Every residence hall has a small gym, mostly cardiovascular equipment. We have a huge rec center on campus, which I'll talk about, but if you're in a rush or just don't want to leave, you can go to the gym in your residence hall. And our maintenance and janitorial staff, they will take care of the building. They will clean common areas such as the hallways, the bathrooms. You do not have to clean that. They are not going to go into your own room, but they will clean the common areas. And just so you know, in a traditional residence hall, typically, you will share the bathroom with others. So it may be where you have numerous showers, numerous toiletries and all that, but you will share it with others. But it's never a problem with getting ready for class, but it's cleaned by the janitorial staff every day. And if you have any questions about this, please ask. But we really highly recommend that you live in housing. And, after living here for a year, you will be able to make a much, much better educated decision on where to live for your second year. You'll know the area much better. You may love it so much that you'll want to live in the residence halls again for another year. I mean, we have some students who live in our residence halls for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 years. Okay? It's a real nice convenience. We're going to be having 3 virtual housing sessions. One this coming Monday, June 10th at 8 a.m. Then June 24th and July 8th. They're all at 8 a.m. our time. And the housing team is going to be running these meetings. And you can learn all about living on campus. You can ask them any question and they'll be able to answer it for you. On July 29th and August 12th, then we are going to have what we call virtual prep sessions. And these are sessions for individuals who will be living in our residence halls. But space does go quick. So if you're interested in this, I highly recommend you sign up for housing. We do have very nice apartments in the area, okay? However, again, when you don't know where they are, and some of them are extremely expensive. So the last page of the Housing and Residence Life webpage does talk about apartments, and they do list them, and they list the nicest ones. Okay, so you can go on that if you want, especially if you're a graduate student. But even graduate students often live in our residence halls. So anyway, you can look at that, but I highly recommend for the first year you live in university housing for all the reasons I said. Please follow us on social media. We have a very active Facebook and Instagram page. There's not a lot going on right now because it is summer, but if you look at it, you will see all the activities that occurred throughout the year. And it will amaze you to see everything because we do so much. Arrival to Youngstown State. Mandatory international orientation begins on Monday, August 19th, 2024. We will have a bus pickup from the Pittsburgh International Airport on Sunday, August 18th at 3 times, 3 p.m., 7 p.m., and 12 a.m. The cost is $40, which is very cheap compared to the $120 or so that you would have to pay if you took a taxi. We are only doing housing pickup from the Pittsburgh International Airport and only on Sunday, August 18th. If you go to another airport or even the Pittsburgh airport, but another day, you are responsible for coming to Youngstown on your own. Classes begin on Monday, August 26th. If you cannot arrive by Monday, August 19th, you must defer your admission to a future semester. This is not to punish you. It is just that orientation is so critical for our international students to come here and to get adjusted to the United States, to Youngstown, to Ohio, and to YSU. So you must be here, ready to go on the 19th. Keep us informed. After your visa interview, email isss@ysu.edu to let us know the outcome of your visa interview. We really want to wish you so much luck. This is our staff. It's not everyone, it's just a few of the people, but our director is Dr. Aaron Mamaj, Joe D'Amato, me, Mike. You see a lot of the people. If you're from Nepal or India or Bangladesh, you may recognize Binti. And if you are from the Vietnam area of the world, you may know Tien. If you would like a copy of these slides, please put your name, write your name, your email, I should say, in the chat box. And I will, at some point today, email you this presentation. Now it's time for questions, okay? And this is the best time. And we could talk about your interview. We can talk about the ideas that you may want to say during an interview. So ask any questions that you would like. Now, one of the things I would like to do is I'm going to put a number of things in the chat box. And I think they're very important. I can't do that, obviously, when I am, whoop, wrong one. I didn't want to put that. So let me get this real quick for you. Again, I think the more you know about Youngstown, the state of Ohio, the better you will be. So the first link I put is basically the first two are about Ohio. Gives you a history of Ohio, how important of a state that it is. So you could just look that over. Then I put a link about the Great Lakes. There are 5 Great Lakes. Again, you don't have to be experts on this, but just read it, look it over, have an idea about it, how important they are. I put Youngstown, a link to downtown. Also, I want to show you some pictures of some of the buildings downtown, just so you have an idea. You know, Youngstown's a really cool city. I love living here, but we're not New York. We're not Chicago. If you're looking for a 24/7 type of city, that's not us. We are a lot slower, but there's always things happening. Okay, our bus system gets you to a lot of places in the region, but we wished it would go longer into the evening than it does, but it does get you where you have to go. I also wanted to put a link on Mill Creek Park. We have the biggest metropolitan park in the United States. It's an absolutely beautiful park with waterfalls, lakes. There's a garden, and a lot of our students love to go to the gardens. And in August, we like to take our students there to show them the garden. It's very peaceful, but I just want to show this. I want to include this. It's only 2 miles, the park, from campus, if that. And so it's very easy to get to. So you should look at all of these. It'll give you a better idea about Youngstown. So what kind of questions do you have for me? You could put them in the chat box, or you can ask me, and we'll talk about a number of things. I can see this is a quiet group. So let me talk real quick about getting a job on campus. International students can get a job on campus. You would have to work for obviously a campus job, okay? And so we have a lot of jobs on campus for students. We don't have, enough jobs for everyone. Plus, we also, of course, have domestic students. But a lot of our international students do get jobs. We always tell everyone you have to be patient and you will get a job. We hire some students to work in the international programs office, but a lot of our international students get jobs in the dining services, our food provider, which is called Chartwells. Many students get hired for either catering or one of the restaurants on campus or in the dining hall. We have students who get jobs working in housekeeping and also the bookstore. Those 3 areas, the bookstore, food service, and housekeeping, these are outside companies that do work at the university. So you could get a job. You can work up to 20 hours a week when school is in session. During breaks, like summer or winter, you can work up to 25 hours a week on campus. And if you do work for one of these companies that isn't actually part of YSU, you can even work more than 25 hours a week. However, if you get a job working across the street at that restaurant that is not part of YSU, you would be in violation of your F1 status. You don't want to do that because you can get in a lot of trouble. So you have to work at YSU. The pay rate is $10 and I think it's $10.40 an hour, which is not bad. And a lot of our students do get jobs. So again, just want to let you know that. What other questions out there?
Hi Nicholas, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. So I had a question regarding my visa appointment date. I was only able to get a date on the 5th of August, and I wanted to ask if this is a good date regarding the fact that I need to prepare for a lot of things after I get my visa as well.
That's a great question, Asher. I think August 5th is doable. I mean, it's doable. I mean, you still have, basically almost 2 weeks. So, yeah, they'll tell you right then and there if you ended up uh, getting your visa. So you have to just kind of be prepared if you do get your visa to move kind of quickly in terms of arriving in Youngstown. You just have to make sure you are here by Monday, the 19th of August. But I think August 5th definitely gives you enough time to do that. Great question.
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you.
Sure. So let's talk real quick about your interview. Again, we already talked a little bit about it. Let me ask a question here. Janice, can you hear me?
Hello, Nicholas.
Hello, Janice. I don't know if you were here from the
Hello.
beginning, but what did I say is the most important thing to do during your visa interview or not to do? What's the most important thing not to do during your visa interview?
Is
Do you
to
remember?
sound, yeah, is to memorize things. Yeah.
Yes. Good job, Janice. If you were here, I'd give you a high five, but I guess I can give you a high five right on the computer screen. Yeah, the
Okay.
worst thing that you
Okay, after
can
I
do
come to
when you come
US,
here,
you
we'll
can
get
give
you
me a
could
high five.
yes, when you come here, we'll give each other a high five. That's great. When you
Okay.
end up going for your visa interview, do not give a prepared speech, okay? Don't say, I want to do research and, blah, 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 blah. Again, speak from your heart, okay? You want to look the officer who, remember, they do this every day, all day. They hear all sorts of responses, but you want to give an answer from the heart. And to me, there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to go to Youngstown State because number one, it has an excellent reputation in my field of study, whatever that field of study is. They have been really attentive to me. They have answered my questions. They have had online group interviews. Uh, I think I'm going to feel so comfortable being there. It's not a huge school, but it's not small and it's affordable. I mean, I'm going to really do well. Maybe you had family or friends who came here and they got their degrees. You could mention that. But you could also say, as a young person, I've never experienced fall or winter. And I'm really looking forward to getting to experience, I've done a lot of research on Ohio, on Lake Erie, on fall time, on winter. And I want to experience this as a young person. I'm really looking forward to going to Youngstown because it's not a huge city and I'm not going to be overwhelmed. I think I'm going to really be comfortable being there. But the university is really good and I can't wait to get started. You want to look at them. I can't wait to get started. And you look at them directly in the eye and your eyes are just excited and you're positive and you're confident. So only you can give an answer, but you have to practice that. And I had a person ask me a number of weeks ago, well, isn't it kind of tough when you say it's affordable? Does that show that maybe you don't have the money? No, I don't think so. Going to college in the United States is expensive. YSU is expensive, but we're just not as expensive as a lot of other schools. And you're going to get a quality education. So again, I'm going to receive a quality education. I had a friend who came here, they got their degree, they loved it there. Okay. And it's not as expensive to go to Youngstown State as other schools, which is very important. But I can't wait to experience the seasons, the fall time. I've never seen fall before in my country. I can't wait to see this. And it's an affordable city to live in too. I can't wait to go. And again, you have to have that positive twinkle in your eye, excitement. You want to get that officer to want to come to Youngstown State when you talk, okay? But you have to be positive, okay? So practice that. And if you do that, I think you're going to do so well. Okay, there's a question about your visa interview is on the 12th of February. So you're saying, how do I go about it? Again, I'm not sure what you mean. If it's the 12th of February, then that means you would be coming for the fall of 2025, which is okay. But if you want to come during the fall of 2024, then you have to really see if you can expedite that interview, or at least try to expedite that interview for like October or November, which again I think is doable. I'm not sure what country you live in, but maybe you can go to another country, a neighboring country. Often you can get a shorter interview time if you go to a U.S. embassy in another country. I would think that that's very doable. Maybe not for fall of this year, but at least January, spring semester of next year. So we hope to see you again, February of 25. That's kind of a long ways away, okay? But keep positive. See if you can move that to come to Youngstown State in January. I'm sure you can expedite that interview one way or the other. I want to put other things in here. We have at the university an amazing rec center that is really big, huge climbing wall. And we have student activities that does so many different types of activities throughout the year. I mean, they do things on a bigger scale than I do, but I do things strictly really for our international students. They do things for the whole campus, but a lot of it is international student focused. And our rec center, I work out at the gym, pretty much every day, and I just see our international students everywhere, not just at the gym, but on campus. So if you think about it, we have about a little over 1,000 international students on campus. We have about 12,000 or so students. That's about 1 out of every 12 students is an international student. And we're going to have a large intake this fall. So everywhere you look on our campus, we have international students. And you're making such a big difference in our community. You're making a big difference on campus by being involved in student organizations. You're making our city better by being involved. And it's just wonderful to see. And like I said, our campus has come a long, long ways because now we recognize how important our international student population is. I'm going to put these following screens. I want you to see this because it's really, I think you're going to see a lot of you in this. The first link and the second link are 2 articles that were done during the winter of 2023, so over a year ago. But they are how a lot of our international students are choosing to come to Youngstown State. And again, the things I said, how they're finding really good education here and how it's making our community better. The last 2 links are about, well, the third link I think is about the International Festival. This is not from this year, but the year before. But again, interviewing students, you'll get to see a few of the performances. And the last link is about how students from other countries, our international students, are taking advantage of internships, how they're getting an amazing experience and getting to do like OPT or CPT in some of the best places in the United States. And so I want you to read that because when you read it, I guarantee you're going to see you. You're going to say, that's me. And so, again, the opportunity exists for you to take advantage of these. You just got to get here.
Hello, Nicholas.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
Oh, Tabe, I'm doing very good. It's nice to see
Okay,
everyone.
so I have a very quick question.
Sure.
If I arrive by 17th August, then is there any chance that YSU can pick me from the airport? Sometimes just plane schedule can delay or something. So I
Right.
want to.
Right. No, we will only pick students up on Sunday, August 18th, at those times. Because we have too many students coming in, too many, it would be impossible for us to pick every student up. So we do it on the 18th. And, if we will give a student ideas on who to call, maybe to get picked up. Some individuals may pick students up at a cheaper rate than a taxi. And then some of our students, especially if they are from Nepal or India, we have such strong student, so many students from those countries here that sometimes they'll pick students up themselves. So there's a lot of things that we try to do to help students, but the only time we actually pick students up at the airport is Sunday, August 18th. Some students may come in late on the 17th, and maybe they just stay at the airport, and wait till they get picked up, but it would only be on the 18th.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem. Trying to think if there's anything else. We talked about the interview process. We talked about jobs, about the weather. We talked about downtown. I really can't think of anything else. We do these every other week. We used to do them every week, but we do them now every other week. It's much better. And if you want to attend again, sometimes we have students come to all of these. It's amazing, but they will come to every one of these. Because even though we go over the same material, you keep kind of learning. All right, so if you want to join us in 2 weeks, feel free. All right, any other final questions before we end this session? It's a quiet group. I must have done a good job explaining everything if no one's asking me questions. All right then, well, as I said, one more thing I wanted to let you know. I'm glad I just thought of this. We are doing something different this summer. We are having an online orientation that you will be getting. And all students, it's a 7 or an 8 week session that we've been working extremely hard. And this is, you're still going to have in-person orientation. But by doing this online orientation, and soon you will get it. It's going to be by Blackboard. Everything will be explained to you, but every week you will go and there'll be a different topic. Really, really well done. And you're going to learn a lot. And then you'll end up answering, there'll be like mostly 10 questions that everyone needs to answer. And these 10 questions will be about the topic we just discussed. You need to do that. This will help you immensely and will answer so many of your questions. But then when you do come here, we will still have in-person orientation, but we're trying not to stretch the days out as long as we have done in the past. So be on the lookout for this online orientation. You'll be getting it in the next few weeks. Well, everyone, I hope you have an amazing day. I will copy your email address down and I will send this information to you. I hope this has helped you. Please let us know if you got accepted and that you'll be coming here. We can't wait to see you. Youngstown's just waiting to see you. All right, everyone, have a great day, and I will see you soon. Okay, take care.
Thank you, Nicholas. Take care as well.
Bye-bye now. Take care.
Yeah, too.